Hello everyone, welcome back to a new video. Long time no see. It's been a very long time since I've done a reading vlog and I'm apologizing for that right now. Um, there's been a lot going on. The baby no longer stays asleep long enough for me to do reading vlogs anymore. He's currently asleep in his bed. I don't know how long he'll stay asleep, but my husband has requested that I bring these back and I've been wanting to read more anyway. So I thought, why not give it a go again? Hopefully, I'm gonna try not to like keep my hands in the camera or anything. Hopefully, I don't look like a blurry mess. But we're going back into Configured, and we're going to be reading, I think it's chapter 19. We'll be reading chapter 19. We're like halfway through this book now. So I really want to keep reading this. Hopefully, it goes well. Hopefully, I'm not quiet. I don't know. It's been a long time since I've done one of these. I'll probably edit a good bit of it, but let's hope that my brain doesn't just shut off while I'm reading. I am listening to music. That's why the headphones are on, because music helps me focus on what I'm doing. Don't know why. I can read. Fun facts. I can read and sing a song at the same time and still know what I'm reading. So, like, read in my head is what I mean to say. So, we're gonna give this a go. Hopefully, it's not horrible. Hopefully, I don't sound terrible. But welcome back to a new reading vlog. We are starting on chapter 19 of Configured Book 1. So, Meyer's jaw tightens and his nostrils flare. I can tell he must be attempting to form a plan of how to get rid of me. This was a mistake. I never should have come into level 1. I flinched as the voice continues. Level 1, Sector B, citizens, please return to your housing units and await further instructions. All other all other approved non-Sector B Level 1 citizens report to the nearest drafting center and wait to be escorted to your proper sector. Today's gonna be a hard day. Today's gonna be a hard day on my reading. I'm so sorry. I knew this was gonna happen. um, the words cut at my brain. There's no way I can report to the dispatch center. The guards will question why I was here and detain me. I'll most likely be arrested since Manning restricted crossing into one. Meyer, still grasping my arm, now ignores me while scanning the dispersing crowds and the movement of the guards. After a moment, he lets go and gestures to Lena, who is already outside. Back inside Lena, he grunts and gestures for me to follow. You too. Before turning away, his eyebrows knit. The heat of his anger radiates off him. I kind of forgot what she had done before I came into this. I remember now. Oops. The second message repeats. Attention, Level 1, Sector B is now under lockdown. Head hung and cheeks burning, I enter the building. Never have I been so embarrassed and ashamed. Lena, normally sweet, doesn't even look my way and strides toward the stairwell. Meyer on her heels, also avoiding me. I take up the rear. We hit the 9th floor and exit. Neither Meyer nor Lena have spoken a word, but they seem to know our destination. I assume they've been here before, or are fed the information in their EPs, information my EP is not privy to. A mother, father, and young son scurry past us toward their door. Muffled whispers between the parents meet my ears. The boy looks up, his stare meeting mine. Then they disappear into their doorway. The hairs on my arms are standing on end through my shirt. I work to smooth them, but it's no use. Eventually, we stop at a unit marked 915. Lena palms the visitor alert. Footsteps sound, and a crack in the door appears as it clicks open. This building is like buses and still has old-fashioned swing doors instead of the modern slide ones of level 2. A man's voice sparks from the opposite side of the door through the crack. What day is it? Looks like thunderstorms, Meyer replies, and that means that's in her head. The door snaps shut. Then the sound of cracking metal is followed by the door opening again. A scrawny, short man with reddish blonde hair ushers us in a modest drape apartment. Apparently, he's aware what thunderstorms means. A misty scent overwhelms my nose, and I let out a cough followed by another. The pale man stares at me as I hack. 3 of you? I'm only equipped to handle 2, he says while holding up 3, then 2 fingers. Change of plan, Lena mumbles to no one in particular. Sorry, Nelson, Meyer says. We're out of options right now. This will need to work. Pressure builds in my chest, silently pleading, just let us in. Nelson, I have no idea if it's his first or last name, drops his hand to his side and bops to stare past us. Fine, do what you have to do and leave. He ushers us through the living room and bedroom, then points toward the closet. You'll find the entrance inside. In the closet, I mumble. Meyer turns and glares. Yes, shh. I cross my arms and close my eyes. This has to be a dream. But when I crack my lids, the view is the same. A dim, sparse room with 4 people in front of a closet. And this isn't a sim. It's definitely real. At least it's somewhere to hide. Lena pulls a handheld from a bag over her shoulder and swipes and pokes the screen. From behind the door to the bedroom clicks shut. When I turn, Nelson's gone. I turn back to Meyer as Lena steps inside the closet door. Come on, he says. Meyer and I follow behind her. A gap appears between the few items of hung clothes. He yanks the garments aside and signals me. I crouch and crawl inside. Meyer enters, sits by me, and the panel slides closed. The only illumination comes from Lena's flex. She still works on it while scrunching in the corner. My EP seems to be compensating since the room appears brighter than it should. Nelson was right. He didn't have room for more than 2. There's barely room for 1 in here, just enough to stand without hitting my head, and if Meyer were closer, he'd be on top of me. I press my back into the wall and slide to sit next to his left. Lena backs up against the other wall, her legs to my right. Where are we? I ask. Ooh, that came out raspy. It's a safe house, Lena says. Affinity has them set up all over Allure. Thirsty? Meyer asks as he hands me a bottle. It's water. Sure. I'm actually extremely thirsty. I tip it back and the cool water slips into my mouth. Lena grabs the bottle. Not too much. There's only a liter in here and no place to pee. There's always the empty bottle. Meyer growls. Easy for you to say. Lena rolls her eyes and goes back to work. I push my back into the corner of the space and massage my temples. After a while, I ask, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? Meyer spits. What are you doing here? At this point, I'm ready to disappear and push further into the wall. I told you I made a mistake. I was just, well... Evelyn, you should know as well as anyone you need to follow orders, he snaps. Your choices could jeopardize our mission. Follow orders? Lena laughs. You're one to talk, Meyer. Myers narrows his eyes at her. Shut up. You want to be here too. You wanted to be here too. Lena raises a hand in the air in surrender. He returns his attention to me. How did you find me anyway? If only I could vanish. Do I lie or admit I hacked into the affinity system? Sweat forms on my palms and I rub them into my thighs, but realize it's no use lying. Why make things worse? I tracked you, I mumble. Meyer pushes his back against the wall, and Lena's eyes dart up from her device. You tracked me? How? Affinity can't even track me right now. I disabled it. Same as you tracked me from the EP. He raises his eyebrow. Right, but you don't have that capability. I do now, I say as I push my hands into the concrete floor. Lena drops her handheld in her lap. What did you do? Both stare and wait for words. I don't want to speak. The already cramped room presses around me as if the walls are closing in. I hacked it, I mutter, and pull my legs up. You hacked Affinity? Lena asks. My mind reels with the potential lies, but none of them make sense. Yes, I hacked in to locate Meyer after I downloaded the file so my EP could follow him. Wait, you downloaded it? You downloaded my file? Meyer's voice rises. No, only the tracking part. Not that I'm going to tell him I could have even wanted to. His jaw is tight, brow furrowed. Really, I didn't, I insist. For a moment, we stare at each other, as if it's a showdown, the hot air from the room making me feel really ready to explode. Then Leonard interrupts. Okay, you didn't look, but how did you do it? Affinity's network is incredibly secure. Not just anyone could break the code, not even Direction's finest. I'm not sure, I admit. The design is nearly perfect, but when I downloaded Meyer's file, the EP made the route clear. What do you mean? Meyer's voice softens, and his curiosity seems to have taken over. When I entered Affinity's network wearing the EP, it was like real world, except not at all. I can't explain it other than I could physically interact with the code. Some of the stiffness in my body dissipates. All I had to do was touch the code and think of finding you, and the program brought me to the file. Both Meyer and Lena stare, mouths slack. Isn't that how the EP works? I ask. No, Evelyn. Meyer answers. No, it is not. So tell me what happened exactly, Lena prompts me. Well, I say, to be honest, I don't really remember, since I just thought that's how the EP worked, and I was hurrying to get out. I activated the EP and linked it to my system at home. Then I logged into my Affinity account, and there it was. I didn't do anything specifically. This is fascinating, but there's no time for this, Meyer says. Lena and I are on a mission which has gotten sidetracked, and you are a complication we can't afford. My chest clenches again. Meyer pulls out his handheld. I need time to work out what to do with you. Let's take her, Lena says quickly. Take Evelyn? He shakes his head. No way. It's too risky. She has no experience. Yeah, Lena says, but it's likely a suicide mission, and if Evelyn is the genius hacker she is, it might give us an advantage. I'm still here in case you two didn't notice. Heat burns my cheeks. Maybe I should have a say in if I'm going on this suicide mission. Lena takes a gulp of water. You should know what's happening. She nods at Meyer. Tell her. Lena and I are pulling a rescue attempt. Affinity is rescuing Jason, I guess. The two glance at each other, then Lena lowers her eyes. Not Affinity. We are. The mission's not official, Meyer says. Right. After Direction's announcement in the beach sim, I received intel from a private source. Direction moved Jason's trial In secret, the judge, probably Manning, declared him guilty and scheduled the execution along with a few others. Execution? I ask. Excuse me, I had a burp. Meyer rubs his eyes. I requested a team to break him out, but Ruiz? Did I ever figure out how to say that? I don't think so. Wouldn't budge. Too risky. Lena pats Meyer on the shoulder, so it's just Meyer and me, and maybe you now. I suck in air. Well, what choice is there? I'm either stuck here in level 1 or I go with you guys. Wait, how are you getting there? How are you getting out? I can read. I swear I can read. I'm good. If you want to leave, we can make a plan for you to go on your own, Lena says, or you can join the mission. As of now, we're at a disadvantage and can't access full potential. Can't access full potential of the Affinity network. Why not? I ask, looking between Meyer and Lena, but Meyer is ignoring me sulking. Because Meyer decided to go rogue, Lena asks, and if we access Affinity's most recent intel, they'll know what we're doing. I'm just along for the ride to make sure he doesn't do anything stupid. Meyer glares at her, but then returns his affection to me. Sorry, attention. There's no affection going on. Hold on. Meyer glares at her, but then returns his attention to me. But if you can access security at the detention center as easily as you hacked into Affinity, we might have a better chance, but it doesn't mean I'm telling you to come. So, what's the chance of me getting out of this alive? Either way. Lena lets out a nervous chuckle. Sorry, neighbor. Would have been fun to hang out more often. Her smile fades. Friends are hard to come by. I press my lips together. She nods and snatches up her device. Let me transfer the information we accessed to your device. Study the plan we made and then make the best choice for you. Thanks, I say. Lena gives me a tight smile and goes back to work. Meyer lifts his flex and swipes at the screen. Everything should be uploaded. Alright. I turn away and connect to my Affinity account to download the file. The information floods into my view. Meyer keeps his gaze towards his own handheld. Use your device to sort what you need. Maps. Information on the facility, security, and Jason's location. It's all loaded up for me to consider. The compound is 4.4 miles outside level 1. Once out of the city's perimeters, we'll need to break through the security of the detention center, but the codes they have are old, possibly outdated. This would be where I'd come in. Is this why you were in one, on your way outside the city? I ask. Partially. I was supposed to be gathering intel on events for Affinity, but I ran into this guy. Lena tips his head toward Meyer. You know the rest. Meyer scoffs. Meyer scoffs at her. Are you coming or not? Depends, I say. There was nothing in the upload yet about a plan for me to get back to my apartment, so I could make a choice. Easy, he says. When we leave, you go to the opposite way toward home. Use your smarts and EP to guide you out of one. Oh, and avoid being detained or killed on the way. I'm impressed with your tactical planning skills, I mutter. My odds sound great. Meyer locks his stare with mine. If you're going to be part of Affinity, I can't babysit you. His intensity fills me with electricity and heat. Everything tells me to turn away, but I don't. Why do you come after me anyway? He growls. You two, knock it off. Meyer, you're a mess right now and not thinking clearly, Lena says. We've only got a half hour until dark, and after that, curfew hits. Are you coming, Evelyn? We're leaving after curfew. I break my stare with Meyer, but security is doubled on the streets. Meyer smirks. Oh, we won't take the streets. Not the whole way. The rooftops are more fun. I gasp. His eyes soften. Evelyn, go home. I'll figure out the best way for you to get there. Desperate to prove myself, I push down the fear working to consume my body. Either way, my chance of survival is likely bad, but I can't just leave them. If I have something to offer, I'd come into level 1 to make sure Meyer was safe. I can't abandon him and Lena, or of my one of my only friends, for some dangerous mission on their own. If they're risking themselves, I will too. At this point, I'd rather die than run away. When do we leave? That's the end of chapter 19. So we're going to go ahead and move on to chapter 20. I do not know if I'm going to read any more than just chapter 20. I guess it'll depend on my mood once I finish it. Chapter 20. An hour after curfew sets in, and still in the hiding place, the three of us blink from a practice sim with the EP. The exercise compiled the intel Meyer had on file with several practice runs of getting out of the city and into the compound. At least I feel a bit more prepared, but we couldn't run any with my skills since we can't access any outside systems. So I'm just the backup, right? I ask. Meyer and I have the codes from his sources. She's on the inside at the detainment center, so they should be right. There's a weak point in the defense shield on the south side, and if they don't work, Meyer says, that's what you're here for. Backup. I clench my teeth at the thought. Guardians are in the building, Lena says. The same information shows in my EP. My heart leaps. This is it. Meyer swipes at his handheld, and my vision expands to an overlay of our surroundings. A digital generated ghostly outline of the space beyond the hiding place appears, like a 3D blueprint. 2 floors below, the EP detects Guardian drone activity. A simple cylindrical shape notes their location. Will they come inside the units? Lena glances up from rifling through her satchel. They may. It wouldn't surprise me. She puts on her bag and straightens it. Ready? Both Evelyn and me and my trackers are scrambled. The drones are 1 floor below. Once they pass this floor, we'll go, Meyer says. Take the stairwell to the rooftop. Lena and I both nod. Clear? Meyer asks, but neither of us have the chance to answer. There are 5 minutes and 32 seconds before the Guardian finishes. Once out of B, we'll need to move through A. It should be less guarded. He eyes me. Follow directions in your EP at all times. A pang bowls through me. I understand. Do you? Lena asks. Yes. If I'm going to have any chance of making it out alive, I have to. Meyer sets our final plan and course. Wait, you're both wearing those special suits from the training sim? I say, realizing my lack of any sort of gear. Meyer was planning a mission, and I'm always prepared, Lena says, pulling out a pair of gloves from her bag. Instead of putting them on, she sighs and hands them to me. These will block them from confirming your DNA if you touch anything. Meyer eyes Lena. I won't touch anything that can read me, she assures him, but if you use your hacking skills, you'll need to. But Lena, Meyer says, stretching a pair he had hidden in his suit, it will be fine. She turns her attention towards me as I tug the gloves over my fingers. Lena hands Meyer a stunner and lifts to holster her own. Last chance, Meyer says to me. You can stay here until morning and get home after curfew lifts. I steel myself to mask the terror that's coursing through me. No, I'm coming. He holds my gaze for a second, then lets it loose. Don't get us killed. The EP shows the drones nearly complete on this floor, giving us 45 seconds to reach the stairs after they've moved to the next. Lena clears the panel with her flex, and we slip out. We're leaving, Meyer whispers as we exit the bedroom. Nelson's nervous voice comes from the kitchen. Yes, yes, do be careful. After darting out Nelson's doors, the three of us are in the hall. Above, the EP displays the ghostly guardians searching the next floor at the opposite end. I follow Lena and Meyer toward the stairwell, and as we round the corner to the steps, a click sounds from the last door. The boy from earlier pokes his head out, and I duck into the stairwell. He didn't see me. He didn't see, I tell myself. 3 minutes, 46 seconds, 45, 44, 43 counts down in my vision for us to reach the rooftop. Sweat builds on my temples, and the swaying of Lena's longer hair fastened into a low ponytail helps me wish mine were the same. Instead, sweaty strands of my short bob stick to my cheeks. 19, 18, 17, 16. Meyer is the first to the access door and jerks the handle, but it doesn't give way. It's locked, he mutters. Well, use your flex, Lena answers. The building's not upgraded. He pulls out a small gadget from a pocket. I thought we might run into this. 2 minutes, 33 seconds. 32, 31, 30. The lock won't budge. Lena bends toward Meyer, swears, and tells him to hurry, but he waves her away and goes back to work. I try to get a better view, but my sticky hair keeps falling in my face. 1 minute, 22 seconds. 21, 20, 19. Lena taps her foot on the concrete floor. Come on, Meyer. Back on the floor below, the outlines of the drones creep closer as they sweep the floor, and the outlines of 2 more figures come into view. Electricity in my stomach tenses me, but I wrench and turn toward Lena. New guards. Meyer needs to work faster, I pat. I check again below us, and the guards stand right at the door to the boys' apartment. 55 seconds. 54. 53. 52. Lena, the guards are in one of the apartments, I say. Better there than here. No, the boy might have seen us. What boy? I tap off my comm so Meyer can't hear. A kid peeked out the door just as we got to the stairwell. He might have seen us. 20 seconds. 19. 18. 17. Lena opens her mouth to speak as the lock clicks. Let's go, Meyer whispers. Lena bolts through the door toward the building's edge and launches herself to the next. I tap my comm back on and follow Meyer and Lena. At the third rooftop, an alert blinks. The 3 of us duck behind the stairwell entrance. An upward shaft of light from a guard's work light pierces the sky from the top of the building we left. 4 armed human guardians appears in my vision. They search the rooftop, then return inside. A guardian whizzes overhead and continues toward the first building. I press into the wall to avoid being seen or scanned. We stay put for a few minutes until the drone is gone, and then move through this series of rooftops. At the last one, a chasm awaits. It's not a chasm, really only 9 feet, but it still seems like one. 91% chance of success and a 9% chance. ... Just follow the instructions, Lena whispers. It's like in The Sim. You first, Evelyn, Meyer says. I shudder. Me? Why me? You might get scared and we'll have to leave you behind. He gestures toward the abyss. Part of me has no idea if he's joking or not. Lena pulls her satchel over her head, rolls it up, and tosses it to the other side. An echoey thump sounds when the bag reaches its destination. Lena shrugs. See? The bag's safe. Fine, I mutter to myself. The EP instructions are clear. Backtrack 19 feet and take a running jump over the passageway. Tuck and roll on the other side. Easy, right? I sprint back, bend my knees, and fill my lungs with what could be my last swallow of air. Don't overthink. I shoot towards the edge. The wind fills my hair, and my chest heaves in anticipation of the end. When I reach the edge, I sail through my air and over the ghostly EP illuminated blackness below. It's as if no one else exists. I close my eyes, then the EP blinks for me to tuck in. Thud. The concrete crushes into my shoulder, and a sharp pain sears my arm. I roll out. Nothing broken, but we are definitely not in the sim anymore. I'm all right, I grunt. Great. Now move, Meyer answers in the calm. His sails through the air. I tuck my legs in to get out of the way before he hits, rolls, and jumps to his feet. His performance was just about a million times more graceful than mine must have looked. On my way, Lena says. Meyer helps me to my feet as Lena joins us. Now to get down. The two of them each take out a small tool and release a trigger that shoots cable and anchors on the top of the metal beams of the ledge. Meyer bends to check the security of it manually, but since my EP verifies the safety, I'm sure he does too. Excuse me. He turns. You're with me, Evelyn. I inch towards him. Lena clips in, runs, and checks her cable, signals, and disappears over the ledge. How are we going to do this? I whisper. He flashes a smile. Carefully. He stands next to the ledge, exposes clips from his built-in harness, and secures them to the cable. He points to the ledge. Stand here. Are we facing each other? Nope. You have to be on my back. Now get going. The EP will tell you if you're secured, he says. Meyer turns and backs into me. The EP displays 3 extended lips on the back of the suit for me to use as harnesses. Secure flashes in my EP. 92% chance of survival blinks, and my breath quickens. Put your arms around my neck. I wrap my arms around his powerful shoulders and pull myself in close to him. I gulp. If there wasn't an 8% chance we were going to die. ... Meyer hoists us up almost effortlessly with his strong arms and legs and climbs to the top of the rim. He checks his cable again. Oh, and you probably want to close your eyes. He drops back over the ledge with a jolt as he lowers us. I squeeze my eyes shut and dig my nails into his neck. We don't plummet. Yet. 92% odds of survival. 93%. 94%. I gasp for air and bury my head into his shoulder. You're almost done, Lena whispers in the calm. 100%. Plunk. Meyer's feet hit the ground, and I open my eyes to Lena jogging towards us. She and Meyer unlatch us, dropping me to the concrete. He presses a button on the tool, and the cable unfastens from the rooftop and reels in as if never deployed. Streams of sweat drip down Meyer's face. The EP points our destination diagonally to our current location, and we have 42 seconds before a human guardian patrol rounds the building. Got everything? Meyer asks as he wipes the moisture away from his eyes. Yep, I'm set, Lena says. They ready their stunners, and Meyer motions for us to go. My hands feel empty and useless. We make a break for the next block, then round in front of the first building into Sector A. Only a short distance until at least the first part of this mission is complete. The EP instructs us to slow. Human guardians wait toward the edge of sector patrol, so we're directed to the left and through a narrow alleyway. From there, we can leave the city limits and head northwest. Meyer leads, and Lena makes sure I don't fall behind. Above is a shadowy chasm, much like the one we jumped. From the end of the alley, the destination illuminates. Past the last building, across the road, and into the trees. 45 seconds from our stopped position to reach the tree line. Meyer fidgets with his handheld screen. I disabled a 9-foot section of the electro perimeter. You should see it in your EP. The perimeter of Allure. I've never been outside the city. The open section glows in my vision, making my heart pound even faster. We dart out and over the road. I blast forward, trained on the cover of the thick trees beyond. 7 seconds. 6, 5, 4. Meyer cuts through the opening. He disappears from normal view, but not in the tracker. 3, 2. Lena hurls me forward after him. 1. Human security detected. 202 feet. Halt, yells a stern voice from behind us. When we don't stop, a pulse rips past and slams into a tree. Lena collides into my back, plunging us to the ground, crashing me into the underbrush. A mixture of earth and iron fills my mouth. I spit and wipe away the blood and dirt from my lips. She rolls off and pulls me to my feet as 2 guards speed toward us. Lena raises her weapon and fires twice. Frozen. The guards lurch forward, sliding over the thicket, and stop. Are you okay? I pat. I'm fine. Guess the border's getting more aggressive. Meyer's voice fills my ear as the drone speeds over us. Keep moving. They probably only think you're an escaping level 1 citizen and wouldn't bother chasing you far. I swallow and tail Lena, who's already on the move. My legs and lungs beg for rest, but I keep going. The pulses have stopped, or at least I can't hear them anymore. There must have only been the 2 guards. Do you think they scanned us? I gasp as we slow and catch up to Meyer. The EP didn't pick it up if they did, he answers. But you won't know for certain until you get home. If I get home. The EP slows us for the remainder of the 4.4-mile trek to the detention center. There's too many ways of falling or being injured on the way if we move too fast. Eventually, an opening in the trees unveils a multi-level stone compound built in the clearing. A transparent electrodome glows over the structure in my EP, and a few guardians patrol inside. We stay tucked in the foliage cover while Lena works on pinpointing the weak point in the security dome on our handheld, which she's pulled off her wrist and folded the thin, flexible material into a tablet. A grid displays over the glow in my vision, and the weakness glows bright. A security door floats across the yard. Scanning, a drone floats across the yard, scanning as it goes until it's out of sight. Found it. I'm entering the codes, Lena whispers. They should open a section of the electrodome so we can get in. Remember from the plan? We need to be out with Jason in under 20 minutes. She taps them in, but her expression grows frustrated. Meyer walks to her and peers over her shoulder. What's going on? They're not working, Lena grunts. Are you sure? Yeah, I'm sure. If they worked, the security would be down. Meyer paces while cursing under his breath as I watch him. A pit grows in my stomach. Lena folds her flex and snaps it back onto her wrist. She stares at it for a beat before her eyes flick to mine. It's your turn, Evelyn, she says. I'll log you into the detention center. Then you can create a rift in their defense shield. My eyes widen. Let's find out if I can really do this. That was the end of chapter 20. And I'm gonna read another chapter because I'm having fun. So we're gonna read another chapter. So chapter 21. Lena cocks her head and pinches her lips together, staring at me, waiting. I have no idea how to create a rift in the defense shield, but I'm here and I don't really have a choice. I sigh. If I'm not going to do what they want, I shouldn't have come. Fine, patch me in. Great. Get out your handheld and I'll link us up, she says. I grab it off my wrist and fold it out into a tablet, waiting for the code to appear on the screen. At home, I just touched the system's keypad. Let's hope the same works here. The EP doesn't show it, but the electrodome is segmented, Lena says, like an orange, except in millions of layers. If you take out a small section for a few seconds, we can slip through, like we did at the border. That's what the codes were supposed to do. Lena takes out her flex and works while Meyer presses against the trunk of a tree. His weapon lifts slightly as the drones hover in and out of view in the grassy area surrounding the detention center again. Each time he looks my way, it's as if a fist grabs my throat. I swallow down an urge to yell for her to go faster. Is it working? Lena asks. My heart pounds and focus lies just out of reach. This whole thing feels like a bad joke. Like I conned everyone, including myself, into doing something I can't do. No, I whisper. Meyer mutters something under his breath. Try the codes again, he growls. She spins towards him. Stop it, Meyer. She's just nervous. Lena turns back to me and reaches to clench my arm with her free hand. Just relax. You can do this. I believe in you. Just her touch sends an instant calm over my body, and her words, I've never had anyone say them to me. I suck in a breath, and with a jolt, a wave of sickness rolls over me as my view changes, replaced with snow, no code. Random. Falling, but staring at it, my mind and body relaxes, and the snowy code organizes itself into patterns. Sparkling electrical arrangements connecting one to the other, I reach for a sequence and graze over the glowing code. A hum reverberates through my hand and body, calm, warm. It's like it's alive. What now? The last time I just asked for what I wanted. Show me inside the security dome. The code patterns vibrate faster, and a section in front of me brightens. I grasp it, and a miniature sparkling white hologram of an electrodome appears. Just as Lena said, it's broken into segments. First, 8 gigantic ones, not millions, but thousands of slices within each. Our location illuminates orange beside the closed segment. Open the marked segment in 5 minutes, and then close it 60 seconds later. Nothing happens. Frustrated, I touch the segment I want, and the code flows over and through my fingers. With a light hand, I trace the area I want to open. Here, I order it. As if it were communicating, the code pulses brighter and a countdown displays in my vision. A pleasant, tingling sensation spreads from my fingers into my arms. Thank you. After I say it, I feel silly. It's not like this thing is really alive. Intense light fills my surroundings as the nausea instantly returns. I shut my eyes and hold down the urge to vomit. Lena sits in front of me when I reopen them. Are you ready? She asks, but I can't hold back my stomach anymore and wrench. Nothing comes. Are you okay? Lena grabs my shoulders as Meyer makes his way over to see what just happened. My stomach returns to normal and I suck in a deep breath. Ready. What? Lena asks. Oh, are you ready to go in? I did it. We have about 5 minutes until it clears. What? You're done already? Meyer asks. Apparently she is. Lena shakes her head and swipes her handheld screen. Meyer shakes his head, confused. How did you know it will work for sure? The reality is, I don't. This is so new to me. Hacking an app is one thing. This is something else altogether. I guess you're going to have to trust me. Fine, Meyer says. Let's go. I'm ready to get this over with. It's going to work. I just know it. Lena whispers to me. Are you getting anything? Meyer asks Lena. She shakes her head. He sighs. You're leading this one, Evelyn. I whip around toward him. Why? Because we aren't getting the same info in our EP as you. Lena and I are blind, but we're linked. Not for this. We didn't see what you just did, and I'm not getting anything now. Just the 31-second run to the dome we already knew. Can you at least see the segments in your EP? I ask. They're not showing, only the dome as a whole. How much time do we have? 3 minutes, 37 seconds, and the EP estimates a 31-second run to the cleared segment, I answer. Both Lena and Meyer set their countdowns manually. A guardian whirls above. Although under thick cover, we all flinch, waiting for it to move on. The countdown finally hits 1 minute, 10 seconds, and I bend to run. The EP blinks, reminding me to slow my breath. Although it's difficult when your heart is pounding. Get ready, I say. The darkened night and foliage seem to fall away as the timer ticks down. 3, 2, 1, I whisper. Go. I hurl myself toward the glow of the dome in my EP. The outline of my chosen section displays a hazy, warm orange. It isn't open yet. Meyer and Lena follow, just steps behind me, blind to what I see in the EP, trusting me. Fear overwhelms me, but I stuff it down and press forward. Tall, wet grass whips my legs. As we near the illuminated section, the warm orange hue turns white in my vision. The section disintegrates and clears of the white glow. It's open, enough for 2 people to pass through shoulder to shoulder. Hit the shield straight on and we're dead, Meyer says in the calm. He still doesn't trust me. We won't. Follow me exactly. I push into the rift 31 seconds before it closes. I turn and both Lena and Meyer make it through. But a pop sounds and Meyer swears, clenching his arm. Are you hurt? I whisper. No. Came in too far to the right, snagged the edge. It was just a shock. Lena grabs my elbow. Follow me. She starts off toward the slant building. The yard in front of the detention center is completely devoid of any trees or plants except the grass. In contrast to the thick forest we trekked through to get here, the EP estimates a 26-second run to our destination. A door on the right side and glows in my vision. A door on the right side that glows in my vision. Jason and the other Affinity members are in the south wing, she says in the comm, motioning to the left. We don't have a specific tracker on him, so we'll search manually. Gasping, we reach the door. It's locked, of course, and a drone patrol alert flashes in my EP. Guardian, I say. Meyer lifts his handheld and starts working on the lock. The security pad shows glowing white in my vision, transitioning to a warm orange. I put my palm to the screen, and the same warm sensation spreads through me, as well as sickness, but I push that part away. The pad glows orange in my EP, and the door turns sparkling white and appears to disintegrate. I gulp and turn as the white floats away like sparks on the wind, but the actual door looks normal. It's unlocked, I whisper. I haven't gotten through it yet, Meyer grumbles. Well, the drone is on our tail and it's open. I wave my hand over the pad and the door clears. Meyer shoves the flex in his pocket, replacing it with his stunner. Good job. Let's go. He checks the hall. My IP says it's clear, but a double check never hurts. He signals for me to follow Lena inside. The door secures, and I'm met with a thin corridor lined with stark white walls. The instructions flash, telling me to continue to the right. A human guardian makes rounds approximately 43 seconds behind our current position. We route through a maze of hallways. Only identical white walls and doors come into view until we approach the core of the south wing and come out to a vast room 4 stories high, clear to the ceiling of the detention center and descending deep underground at least 6 more floors. Why do they need so much space? I whisper. Meyer turns to me. Since when do you know your neighbors or coworkers enough to realize if any of them went missing? He's right. I don't. Direction could take a quarter of the city and store them here, and most of us would never notice. Maybe they have. Below us, some drones escort a few shuffling prisoners, but other than that, this area is deserted. The EP directs me to the left, and Meyer signals the same. Jason's wing is 118 feet away, and we only have 5 minutes and 29 seconds to find him and return. Meyer sprints out first, keeping close to the wall and cell doors, since the other side opens to the floors above and below. Lena grabs me, and I follow, but my heart's doing its best to escape again. When we get there, you'll disable the lock, Evelyn, Meyer whispers in my comm. The EP displays there are 2 more doors until I reach my destination. Meyer skids to a stop, making more noise than he should, but the EP's still green. Once I reach him, he motions toward the pad, securing the door. Once we're in, there should be a series of doors to individual cells, but don't unlock them, he says. We can't risk releasing other people. I nod and glide my hand to the pad. My eyes shut, then snap to a white glowing version of the same scene, but I am alone. Unlocking the door for 4 minutes, I command. The snowy vision of the door glows orange, then dissipates, and loop the cameras in all detention wings. The warm sensation stretches through my arm again. Are you in? Lena whispers as I release from the system. Before I say yes, the door slides back. I looped the surveillance. Meyer's eyes widen. Good thinking. Let's move. By now, the cameras are out, but we don't have much time before the guards notice. We all dart through the hall, peeking into the undersized windows on the upper half of each door. Lena and I on the right, since I've only really seen Jason once, and Meyer on the left. Up ahead, Meyer pauses at one, and his eyes brighten, but he moves on. Finally, he points to the 10th door. In. Lena and I race toward it, and no sooner do I touch the security pad than the door clears. The system knows me. I've become part of it. Inside, Jason lies on a cot on the corner. At the sight of him, I go rigid. This man with a swollen, marked face is nothing like the jolly man from before. What are you here for? Jason slurs, drugged. Lena plunges her hand over his mouth. Shut up. We're getting you out of here. You release Jason, Lena. Meyer says. What about you? Meyer pauses. Lena, I need you to. I'm getting Sandra. Who is Sandra? That's in her head. She's here? I thought Intel said she was dead, Lena whispers. Meyer shakes his head and motions behind us. I saw her back there. Get her too, Jason mumbles. I am, Meyer says. Lena nods a yes. Meyer squeezes my shoulder and I suck in air, startled. Come on, he says as he pulls me after him. You'll need to free the door. I follow Meyer out of Jason's cell to the same door I saw him pause at. He stops and nods towards it. I drag my fingers across the pad and it clears. This cell has no cot, only the balled up frame of what would be a girl wedged in the corner. Who is she? I ask. Go help Lena, Meyer says, ignoring my question. I hesitate as I watch the helpless girl. Go, he orders. Okay. I sprint back to Jason's cell. Now he sits on the cot, blinking. Lena slaps her handheld to her wrist and gazes toward me, standing in the doorway. I gave him medtech to counteract whatever's in his system, but his nanos aren't functional. The green cast is in my EP wavers and turns a new shade. Guardians are en route, probably to check out the camera fluctuations. Time to leave, Lena whispers. Jason grunts as Lena places an arm under him and pushes up. Let's go, Jason. After she heaves him to his feet, I check the hall. Meyer Karins. Karens? Karens. I have no idea. Toward us with a diminutive girl in his arms, unconscious. Her face is turned against him, and a mop of dark, curly, gold-tipped hair spills over her over his arms. I know where I've seen her, other than the bright clothing being replaced by a baggy jumpsuit. She's as crumbled as when the drones swarm and took her away on the street that morning before my placement meeting. She's the one who graffitied the words "break free" on the side of the building, the one who stared my way and smiled. The EP viewer fades to red, and the countdown estimates 42 seconds until security arrives in the swing. Meyer reaches the doorway as the three of us walk into the hall. Here, he whispers and pushes his weapon into my hand. I can't use this and carry her. Use the med tech, Lena says. Meyer shakes his head. Tried, she's too damaged. I hesitate. The metal of the gun is heavy in my hands, and it feels wrong compared to what I used in The Sims. Since I'm the only one not helping another person, I end up leading the group. When we exit the main door to the cell wing, I touch the pad, lock this door, and the ones to the unsecured cells. The system responds with an enveloped sensation, and the EP confirms everything's secure. Jason walks ahead of me on his own as the four of them work their way back to the maze of halls we came in through. I race to catch up, positioning Meyer's stunner just like in training. 18 seconds. Come on, I rocket ahead of the group. Halt, 10 seconds, flashes in my view. I stop and catch my breath. Meyer closes in behind me, but Lena lags with a slugged Jason. His chest heaves to take in enough air. As we run the countdown to move blink 0, and we tear out of this corridor toward our exit. Take out the segment from the next panel, Evelyn, Meyer whispers as he hoists Sandra. Make sure to clear the same one. It's marked in the EP now. We're at 60. I throw my right hand to the pad to open the door and the segments for 60 seconds. In my vision, the door disintegrates and floats away in my EP, and then I blink. The real door slides open. Lena tries to pull Jason along, but he slows down and they both lag behind. As I turn back to them, my EP switches to red, Guardian and Human Security activity. Meyer dashes toward the cleared segment in the Electrodome on the out of sight. My EP shows he's already made it through. Jason trails 20 feet behind, and Lena drags him by his arm. They're coming, aren't they? Jason asks. I won't leave you, Lena's voice trembles in the comm. Danger. Warning. Odds of survival, 19%, flashes in red. Let's go, people, I whisper, turning back to help Lena, who's now running ahead of Jason. We're nearly there, only a few feet. A green laser lights up the darkness behind us. My heart lurches when a flat SI voice fills the air. Jason, Brandt, you are ordered to remain still. From the left, a drone swoops in, laser still scanning his body. Tentacled Tentacled pincers, ready to seize Jason. It hasn't detected Lena and I yet. Jason freezes, then raises his arms, but Lena's crazed eyes lock to mine. She turns and steps back toward Jason. A green light from the Guardian snaps on and racks over her body. Lena Meiko Tran, you are ordered to remain still. I squeeze the trigger of Meyer's weapon and raise it toward the drone. Lena swings back, her mind returning to reason, and gives me a look that can only mean no. She knows she made a mistake and doesn't want me to make one too. Then she reaches to her eye and pulls out her EP, ripping it in half and letting it fall to the ground. Go, she mouths. At that, the drone emits a blue light and both Lena and Jason collapse to the ground. I bolt the other way faster than I have ever run before. That's the end of chapter 21. I want to keep reading, but I don't want to make it all one video. So we're going to go ahead and end this reading segment for today. We've made a good bit of progress. We're definitely much farther than we were. I probably could read through this today. I'm probably not going to do that though. So if you enjoyed this video and you enjoyed my reading of this book, please put some sugar on that like button, comment down below anything you would like to see, and do not forget to subscribe for more content. And please check out my other socials and my first channel, my gaming channel, for any updates on my life and stuff like that. Bye!